Hey, we're live. We're live. What is going on, dreamers? Welcome to the show. Today, let's jump into this. I don't want to wait another moment. I have with me today Surrender Stella from where? Houston, Texas. What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
Oh, we're feeling really happy. We're awesome, phenomenal.
Yeah, we're doing good, man. How about you?
Dude, I'm good. I'm wonderful. I cannot complain. No, life is good. Life is good. Life is good. So let's jump right into it. What is the history behind Surrender Stella?
Okay, that's a good question. So I don't know, years ago, like 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I decided I wanted to start a band. Me and the lead guitar player, Jesse, or Gilbert, whatever you want to call him. It was interesting. It was kind of like a fate moment, right? So like I was trying to start a band, so I wanted to go out and see, what was out there at that time in Houston. So I went to like a bunch of shows. Well, the first show I went to, my friend had this punk band, and I met the guitar player, and I was telling him about I want to start a band, talking about the idea, like a performance art project, something a little different. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. So anyways, we end up jamming shortly thereafter and kind of start the band. But this is like what I meant by that fate moment thing. Like I would have met him no matter what. Because I also own are part owner of a company called Rehab Garage. It's a car restoration company. And he actually worked at my shop, and I didn't know that. So like I met him at a show and befriended him, but I would have met him no matter either way. So it just kind of like, the universe is weird, man.
I hear you. Now the stars are definitely lined up. Jay, what about you? What's the history behind your creative vision?
We've been hearing that term very much, the stars aligning. And like I've been recently making some of the logos that has like a lot of like taboo on the hands, and it's a lot about stars aligning. The history behind a lot of this stuff is a while back I heard from a gentleman at one of the local clubs that there was this singer who had the balls to get on stage without even all the rest of the band there, with like a computer, a guitar player, whatever he could work with, and put on a good live show and had the charisma to at least do that. So I had actually booked them when I was coming to Houston to headline at this show as the Bad Hatter, another EDM project thing I do with metal.
Wow.
It's very, very awesome. And so I actually was in the audience like when they were performing without a mask on or anything else like that. So they didn't really know who I was, and I was watching them. And then afterwards, I did finish the rest of the night of the show as the Bad Hatter, just so I can be a little bit closer to him. I even threw him a little bit of a curveball because it's a remix, a new song of Marilyn Manson, "Tainted Love." So it's just to see what they could do with, and they were trying to roll with it. So it was pretty fun. And then after that, I started getting more involved around them. And I even tried playing drums, which I'm no drummer at all. And then they had a keyboard sitting there. I was like, oh, well, I play keys. No problem. I'm a beast at keys. And so I started covering them more in the news as I was the news, covered them more in the news and covered everything that was happening around me because I knew what was going to happen around me was going to be big. So I covered everybody in the news around me, any band that was local that was really, really good that did a show with us, anything I did in press with them. This way I gravitated towards building the infrastructure underneath the underground to have the pipe works of almost like plumbing throughout Houston. And so I worked with a bunch of models, and we actually hosted a show. It wasn't even our show that we put on. It was Metal Night. And everybody still to this night thinks it's our show. And it was put on both stages at Warehouse Live a couple of years back. And we hosted it and everything. I had models show up and everything else like that. It actually got so hot and heated and beautiful that people actually had to be asked to put more clothing back on. It was one awesome night for sure. And there was some pictures I did behind the stages of Warehouse Live, where it has our singer Seven here walking through the hallway, and I'm using an umbrella as I'm walking through the hallway just to capture how awesome this moment is. You got to be careful. It's just raining art everywhere. And I'm referring to him as the future to some of the people I brought on from the video team to shoot some of this. And that's all up there. It was done through Jennifer After Dark with Circus of the Dark.
We got those awesome shots backstage too, there with a lot of the models. There's a whole photo shoot we did also that came out great. All of our friends are in it. All the models are in it. I'm in it. Jay's in it.
That was great shit.
And from that, from that point, that kind of catapulted us forward in just the consciousness of like Houston. So like, before that, I'd be like, I'm in a band, blah, blah, blah. No one knew anything, but I would say, I'm the vocalist of Surrender Stella, and people would like recognize me. And I was like, that was an interesting feeling. And then, so we were writing music during most of the course of the band so far. Like the first album is called Shadow People. It was an independent album we did. I within the first 6 months of starting the band, it was just me and Gilbert. And I went to a studio and I was like, I want to make a record, So me and Gilbert worked on it, and within 6 months it was done. We had like this, this finished record, and so we could go play now with all these different songs, play the whole thing. It was great, And then slowly but surely over time, we just picked up new members. And I mean, there's been lots of different members in this band, but the current lineup has been around for like maybe 2 years, roundabouts.
Yeah.
And
all right.
So it's like this lineup is what I'm very happy right now. Like it's been a good time since we've been together.
Well, before we go on to the next thing that is burning a hole in my head, and I gotta I just want to give a shout out to Essential Guitarists on the Essential Guitarist group on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Essential Guitarists, for always sharing my shows and promoting my shows. Anybody who wants to find a solid group of individuals, check out the Essential Guitarist group on Facebook. Thank you, Bill. And let's see. Yeah, hey guys, Mark Taylor's here.
What's
Hi,
up?
Mark Taylor.
Hey, Mark.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I'd like to introduce you, Mark Taylor, to Seven, to Jay from the band Surrender Stella.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you as well. Well, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like to give out some shout outs to like Rock Bottom Tattoo. We've been working with them a lot. They're going to be giving us some free ink on both of our hands or something small that we want. So I'm trying to follow the old, Navarro family line and kind of get branched into that stuff too. Get into that stuff, and then all the photography going along with it. So Rock Bottom Tattoos, Houston Music News, Rock Rage Radio, Curtain Call Records. Much love. Thank you very much. And of course, the Dreamer, baby.
Yep.
Rock Rage Radio. Nice. Well, that leads me to the next thing that I've been checking out. I've been kind of following up on, trying to maneuver my way around, is Dark Circus Radio.
There's a lot of pages.
How did Dark Circus Radio come into fruition?
That came to be like over the course of, honestly, it's been almost like a decade now. I've had it called Spartan Sound Studios and Video Productions, where it was a Reverb Nation label where it was helping people look more formal and your websites and stuff for them, and really help them out so they look more fine-tuned, had videos along with it and animations. And then it was Rural Prodigy. It turned into, because I was working out with hip hop too, because years back it was in hip hop, and I was opening up for like Twisted, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Yellow Wolf, a bunch of people before I was in a group called A-Dub, and I was a keyboardist DJ. So I had a lot of news connections in Cleveland, Ohio, when I was doing it out there, and I used to roll around doing that stuff. So I learned a lot of that stuff. So as that adapted from Rural Prodigy, when I came here and worked with some of the Houston hip hop artists here, I developed it into Circus of the Dark, because Seven and I were on stage one time, and it was like was like we were like pulling it all together. It was a really hard time for us and stuff, and we were dealing with like former bandmates that were giving us some issues and stuff. So it seemed like we were in the dark together, dealing with a bunch of circus monkeys at some point. So I renamed it Circus of the Dark, and it's grown since there. And so he's like our lead, he's like our ringmaster, and behind it all, I'm like this like backbone, like circus, like like orchestrator or whatever. So it works really, really good, and it seemed to become the era of what we were doing very much so, because we had like Rockette girls and strippers and all this stuff going on.
It was crazy.
Fire
at that time.
spinners on stage. Like we had 3 stripper poles at one time set up on stage. Like that's what I mean. Like at Warehouse Live, when we got asked to host the show, they didn't expect what we were going to bring, and I brought in so many models and so many photographers and so much stuff going on that they actually had to ask our models to put some of their clothing back on. So like not that not that they didn't have like tape or something over it and stuff like that. Just because you're in a bunch of like in a big place with a bunch of metal guys and everything else like that, and there's a bunch of hot chicks and stuff like that. So we were also feeling like we had to work security detail, and like the Warehouse Live really appreciates us for everything that we do, because we're very much a full production suit. If you book us or anything else like that, we really can manage a lot of stuff around it, promo and everything else like that, orchestrate this art pop culture that goes around everything with us at the same time. So there's gonna be a lot of photo shoot releases very soon of all the stuff I've been doing and behind the scenes stuff with one of my great photographers, Adam Thomas from Circus of Dark Photography. He's phenomenal. Every band out there should have a personal photographer and somebody that works very closely with you. And so we have Adam Thomas, and he helps me out with another project called Jurassic Velastic, which is like BC Boys meets a little bit of metal too. It's pretty fun. But everybody's under the Circus of the Dark wing, so it helps everybody out, so they seem larger than life, so they can reach more. So it seems like you're like, instead of the monkeys, instead of like the animals, almost like Vince McMahon does with wrestling. Instead of their show attractions, it's now the musicians, it's now the wrestlers. So that's how I'm trying to like bring that as far as look to everything people see online.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Before I kind of like. There was like this industrial moment I had in my life that it definitely left an impression on me, and I was going to share it with you guys if that's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
But before I do that, what is the industrial scene like in Houston, Texas?
It doesn't really exist
unless it's us, really.
Yeah. I mean, there used to be a couple other bands, like there was a band called Edge of Misery from Tyler, Texas, which is not that far away, like 3 or 4 hours away.
Erase the Virus. I believe they're still doing stuff out here. Erase the Virus is really, really good. Joshua Project.
Yeah, Joshua Project.
He's a one-man show. Joshua Project.
He's crazy. He puts on like quite a spectacle. He's got
America's Got, what is that show? America's Got Talent. He was on America's Got Talent. He does all these stage props by himself. He brings in the whole shebang. Like people that are truly worth it in that genre out here of booking would be like Erase the Virus. I think they might still be active. Joshua Project, and then
there used to be the Filthy Dead. I'm not sure if they're around anymore.
Cool.
But they were really cool. They had like everybody in the band had dreads. They had like these awesome microphone stands and like, just different clothing and stuff that they had. They had this great look. They were one of the first bands we ever played with. And I was just like really impressed with them, and they were solid. After that, they weren't playing for a while because they were making a record. So I haven't been in contact with them in a long time, but, I hope they're still going. Their stuff was awesome. But so since there's not much or many other bands quite like us in Houston, a lot of times we would end up on like, just different bills. Like we played like rap shows, where people like,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we played a lot of different rap shows, and then like us, and it was so surprising because we got so much love at those shows. Like it was great, and sometimes we'd play it like we'd have to like. It'd be some kind of showcase at like White Oak Music Hall or something, which is a pretty big venue here in Houston. And we just
no fire.
Yeah, you can't do any fire there.
Yeah, wooden stage.
Yeah.
Fire.
Back then, we had live fire spinners on stage. They would spin
I could see that.
Yeah,
or I'd light stuff on fire myself and just spin.
and then they would get topless on stage and spin fire. It was great. a good time in my life.
Yeah,
but
sounds like a winner.
Yeah, it's like a lot of where the stuff from Circus of the Dark because like it came to be when Seven and I were like working together very much, and like we just had this theme to everything else like that. And I've done stuff like this before in Los Angeles before when I was out there, and even in Boston. So like I really like that type of stuff since I like helped out with stage handling for Rob Zombie when I was younger. I was like one of the world's like I was like a kind of like a Lemmy. I would help out everybody I possibly could, whether they needed a beer or just a stage cord, or if they were setting up a light truss, whatever it is. So I could just learn a little bit more about everything. And then working along with Seven, we developed this circus feel with everything, and just seeing what was going on with it is where I pulled it all from. And it's built into a personal private label on Reverb to 107 artists here locally. So I constantly pick from them and play some of their music as I'm doing my radio show, and just to keep the underground love going with everything. So that's a lot of ties that helps this band. A lot of this like constant love that like we give back. Like Seven and I are so personal. Everybody in the band is very personable. Like we all play video games and stuff, and we have a lot of fun. He used to play like I haven't seen anybody play like he's the whiz kid, like the wizard back in the day with like Fred Savage. He's the wizard. Like he'll play like Metroid and all these Zelda, all these old games. He flies through them. And then we have our drummer Logan. He's been magnificent at Apex and some of these more concurrent games right now that he's playing, and he's really really cool. He's like a drummer Matthew McConaughey. He's so awesome, so laid back. And a lot of the personalities that we've done after touring and stuff, we've well groomed ourselves more. So a lot more stage movement, a lot more action like that. So the true musicianship of stage showmanship is coming out, and it's a beautiful thing to see growing within us as we go along with this project. And now bringing more art and artists is something that's like breathtaking, and it's going to be something very very different than most people are seeing, because we're shooting it all at like Phobia most recently, the most recent videos. And before that, we did Blackheart, which happened to take place at the oldest studio in the whole
Sugar Hill Studios.
It's insane. Like they have an echo chamber room there. I even have one of my artists from my personal label, Alex Knight, who does rock and blues, recorded in there, and it sounds magnificent.
You know how much it costs to rent out Sugar Hill Studios?
No.
It was $666.
An hour?
No, for the whole shoot.
Right, yeah.
But it was like he gave me the bill, and I was like, "Fucking rock and roll, man!" Like $666 flat. And I was like, "Wow, this is cool."
Yeah. This band has so much like shroud and
that's funny
and like. And
that's good. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, when we first started playing, there really wasn't. Did I remember a community of musicians that like I met like after Jay started this Circus of the Dark project, and it really started connecting people like who otherwise didn't know each other, or at least in my world. And so now there's kind of like an underground in Houston of like all these different musicians we know and work with and do different things with, and the Circus of the Dark thing, it really brings people together in a good way. I feel like because we're all collaborating on different things. And also through that time, before Jade made that, and then after that, there's been several bands I've seen really rise in Houston, and that's been fun working with them and doing different stuff too. So
we should definitely get some shout outs. I worked with a good cover band out here that now does some great originals. Kid Six, they helped us out in the very beginning with some not in the very beginning but mid beginning with some stage show stuff, hooping and stuff. And they are been with us for a long time, and they were award-winning last year or the year before. No, it was COVID. Well, before COVID happened,
same year we won.
Yeah, we won Best Live Performance. I won for writing for the news, and they won for Best Cover Band. And there was pretty much almost everybody in a category that they had. There was somebody that I had helped out directly that year, or the year and a half before that or so. And the first year I showed up here and made all the impact, I was nominated for like 7 awards. I won a couple of them, and I even gave one way back to the people that was doing like body paint and photography with me, because like they did that work. So I give a lot of the credit to where it belongs to. So it's like I pretty much orchestrate a lot of things, and then bring some good photographers in, good performers, or steady, true people that are actually going to care about what we care about and be diehard fan bases. Everybody needs that entourage and caravan of people that are just rocking with you. Grateful Dead did it. Rob Zombie has it. Marilyn Manson has it. I mean, that's the evolution. We went from a time of being like AC/DC and Guns N' Roses when it was like Terminator 2 was coming out and everything else. That was awesome. That was a great time. I mean, I loved it. Now the progression went to more theatrics on stage with Marilyn Manson and what Rob Zombie does and everything else like that. So it's kind of emerging between the two. It's where we really want it to be.
And also, go ahead.
No, sorry, Steven.
I was just going to say, he was talking about our influences. Manson and Rob Zombie definitely are in there, but David Bowie is a huge influence to me also.
Me too.
I can see that so much in a lot of the way he's able to sing. So it's such an evolution of all these different musicians that we were all growing up with, like merged into it.
Yeah, it's like Secure,
possibilities.
Bowie, like Bowie's stage performance. I mean, he did like 45 albums, so there's tons and tons of different eras of Bowie, but Ziggy Stardust is easy to name because like the look is so iconic, but you run through his different eras and times, and like I love everything Bowie did. Like
Mechanical Animals.
Ziggy
Stardust here.
Yeah, like Manson did the Mechanical Animals album, and that looks like it's very reminiscent of Ziggy Stardust, So
yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Seven. That's what I was going to ask. And I'll tell you why I was going to ask about what you and yourself and the band's influences were, because the first time I saw a Surrender Stella video, it immediately, like that, immediately took me back to when I saw the Jim Rose Circus, Marilyn Manson, and 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, you got what we were going for.
What a beautiful thing. Huh?
That
I mean,
I was just sitting there going like,
it's like an undertone hint. It's like a typical pop head undertone hint to like a lot of those great people.
Yeah.
So it's like we're one way or another where we're trying to be that or not. We just are that. So it's growing and blossoming into what it is like that, and more so the next evolution of that, like adding more pop culture stuff into it and neons, like we just did with this recent music video. It was absolutely beautiful with the stage costs and stuff he did. It's amazing. Like with the raincoat.
I took a police raincoat, the one that's like neon yellow or green, and has like silver stripes on it that run through the raincoat. Well, I turned the stripes black, and then I, basically made the coat fit a certain way, then put this whole costume together behind it. And then our lead guitar player wore like a neon pink suit and like a monkey suit. Yeah. And then and then we had all the purple lighting and blue lighting, black light. So like all these different colors, you put them together and it makes everything really pop out of the screen, which was what we were going for in that video. I did kind of like a inverted Joker look in the in the Flawed Fatal Life video. It's not out yet. We're working on it. But the shots that I've seen, they look really, really cool. So I'm very excited about that one. Also like it's been like that type of industrial stuff, 9 Inch Nails, Manson, very much inspired me to want to start making music. I loved all the imagery they were using, like the weird shots, the strangeness of it all. Like when I started really digging into that stuff is when I personally became a musician. But, I have loved everything about music since I was a little kid, and I always wanted to be a part of it. I just, I always thought I was going to be a guitar player. I never thought I was going to be a vocalist, so stepping into that role was like kind of difficult for me, but it's where I fit, so I've enjoyed it since I started it.
Well, he really is a phenomenal frontman, like all around. Like
I'm telling you,
connectable with people. even like the love for the music and knowing so much vast music knowledge, like, you know, so many different genres and stuff. And like being from Houston out here, well, what, Tyler, Texas, close to Houston, being so close out here, he's got so much like genre, like influences from just the city alone too. So he's so connected with everybody that's in the city possible. So it's very phenomenal to see how he's progressed over the past couple of years, and such a wonderful like frontman. He really kicks ass, badassery. So pretty much like like I even write a column called Icons at Badassery in Music News, Houston Music News, and I cover a lot of local bands and stuff and like that. And we've covered I've covered Jordan Snow in the music news. One of our rhythm guitar players is he's really connectable and he's super sociable with everybody. And he's got a good heart, and he does different music genres. Each one of us do a little bit of different stuff. So we tie into a lot of the city's connection by doing that. And more people are able to connect to us because we are a generation that is connected to so much different music genres compared to just one. It's wonderful. A lot of the extras come to our music video and stuff like that because of this art culture that we're doing.
Well, the best Marilyn Manson video that I guess recently came out, maybe 6-7 months ago, was crawling or walking or falling off the edge of the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That video right there, that got my attention.
All the videos are so very, very good, very good.
Amazing.
You know, he's so prolific in this genre. It's like, and he's done everything too. Like, like he really has. So it used to kind of bother me a little bit to be compared to Marilyn Manson, but it just comes with the territory, you know. Like, it doesn't bother me at all anymore. Like, I kind of embrace it because he definitely is a huge influence. I mean, he's part of the reason I wanted to start making music. So, but yeah, it's what I personally like, you know, like all the dark clothing, the different looks, the creepy shots in the videos, like all his stage performances are fantastic, you know, from like the 90s, early 2000s. Like, I remember I saw him in 2012 and it was just like, it floored me. And I had seen him in like 2000 and he was still just kicking ass, you know. I saw him recently, maybe like 3 years ago. It's like 2018. I saw him here in Houston again. He was, the guy is such a huge rock star. Like, he's awesome.
I think that's the year I covered him in the music news. I actually interviewed Rob Zombie about his movie 3 from Hell coming out, and he was doing a tour at Michelin Pavilion. The Pavilion is where he came into. Yeah, he played at the Pavilion with Rob Zombie, like Twins of Evil or something like that. And I put that in music news. I interviewed Rob Zombie, and he leaked out his movie was coming out, 3 from Hell, first with me in music. So like let you know a hint of when it was going to be coming out. So it's very good. Like we have a lot of ties with the music news and and a lot of the news outlets here. And so it's really going to be helping out develop a lot of artists around us. And we want to start doing booking more shows with a lot of the bands out here that are super active that want to do a stage show. So what we'll do is I'll do a stage show with them. They do a stage show with us, helps each other. We have more band camaraderie. We're trying to, make a band family, put it all together. It's like, this is a huge city. When I came up here, it's always ever expanding. The city is so huge. Houston, it's grown so much just since I've been here. And so this city is turning more into what Austin used to be. Austin, a lot of the places are closed down right now for like rock and everything else like that. They turn into more dance clubs and stuff like that. So it's more migrating to here to Houston.
Yeah, Houston's still open, but Austin is like locked down. Like, you can't play a show there really. I mean, it's like we went for South by Southwest, even though it was canceled last year.
Yeah, that was the last show of Dirt Bar ever.
Yeah, that was our last
Dirty Dog Bar.
Yeah,
that was the last show they ever had open.
Yeah, unfortunately, it tanked their business when South by didn't work out. Yeah. And we wanted to do everything we could to help them because they've always shown us love. So we went up there anyway, and out of 10 bands, we were the only band who showed up to play the show. And like they put in who knows how many hours of work to put that whole thing together, and it just fell apart. So I really felt bad for them because they really were good to us. You know, the first time we played South by Southwest, they invited us out there, and then the next year, you know, we went again. So it sucked to see them go under, you know. And they call that part of 6th Street Dirty 6 because Dirty Dog Bar is there, or it was there. Yeah.
Oh, that ties into a lot of cool stuff about this numbers. Like he goes by the reference of 7, and undertone underneath it all. I go by this undertone of 6. Like I always have his back. I always have his guard. It's like a term, like you know, it's like a military term. So I tied all that into that character when I first became in this band. He had a bunny mask sitting around and nobody wanted to wear it or whatever, and it's really decrepit looking. It looks something like a burlap sack from hell.
It's in the new video.
Yeah. In a character. And like I even have Adam Thomas, one of the people that's shooting some of the behind the scenes stuff in photography. He actually had to play me as an extra so I can walk beside myself. Never ever have I ever stood beside myself so much during music videos. I'm like right next to him. I'm like, how's it feel to be me? It was amazing.
I'll be right back.
So this number 6 has popped up a lot going into that being 6th Street, and I was playing as a bunny character, 6 synthesizer, sexerciser bunny. So it was like the Energizer bunny that just did more humping and better. So it was pretty cool. So we used to use that in terms of like making the whole like sex cell aspect, getting people to act wild and stuff like that, and have a lot of fun. So we developed that character. Actually, we didn't even mean to. I just stumbled upon it. There was a mask in there. I put it on. And how am I going to make this thing work? It was impossible. It's creepy. How to make it approachable. So as I was working with that character for about 6 months into it, before we even got into tour, I got it down a little bit more. I understood what I needed to do. I needed to turn it into almost like a wrestling character on stage, but you have to love it because of the dark humor. So it was almost like a tape facing where it acted like I would zip up the mouth so I couldn't talk. So right when I get close to him, like you'd ask me a question like, who are you or whatever, and I'd just zip up my mouth and then pour beer through my face. Like I can't even drink it. So, and just walk away. So there's beer spilling down me. So it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's dark humor-ish. And if there was like little kids or anything else like that, I would like tone down the show. And then it'd hop around like a bunny for them to make them laugh and stuff like that. It was a very interesting thing to do. It makes people love it. And I'd light stuff on fire on tours, and so we'd have everybody fire springing with us. And so some places you can do that. Some places you can't. So like, I went in not knowing all that stuff. Or knowing that stuff, and just did it anyways and asked forgiveness afterwards, and it was a really good show and stuff. So it's some of the ways that we have to like watch out for and everything else like that. So yeah, some places you don't need to be doing fire. You can do other things like baby powder in your hand, so it's like smoke and mirrors. So we're going to start progressing into using a lot of that type of aspect, getting rid of some of the gore, but adding some pop culture in there, making it dark and lovely for some stuff would be great for the stage show. So a true progression during our stage show would be great. So it progresses from like the beginning where we're stripped down to more like we're a Blackheart at the time, and then growing into what we are now would be phenomenal.
Well, I wanted to talk about pyro. I wanted to talk about what are the ordinances right now that Surrender Stella has to contend with as far as putting on a proper Surrender Stella set?
Yeah, there's only a very few places that will actually allow it. They have to, and it has to be very small and in the high roof area
or outdoors.
Exactly.
Outdoors is great for us because usually we can get away with almost anything outside. So like, you know, if we're lighting stuff on fire, or like we used to have people who spit fire. Or, I don't know. Fire has always kind of been a part of the act.
Well, sure.
Yeah. So if we in the last year, not so much because of COVID, and also maybe even 4 or 5 months before that. Like when we were touring, the fire would not come out near as much. But like when we were at home, that's when we have the crazy shows. You know, like I mean, it literally was a circus at one point. I think we had like 15 people as part of our performance.
Oh God,
yeah. Like
Acadia.
It was just so crazy.
Sonia's here. What's going on, Sonia? Say hi to Surrender Stella.
Hey, Sonia.
What's up?
Wow.
We
this is amazing.
Like I always have, like in the Ghosts of My Past video, I tied in the burning of a car. It's always like almost like it's like a ritual, and it's something I do every single time. So I always burn a 6 and a 7 card every big event that we're trying to do, and I always display J cards and everything. So it's like this taboo underneath thing. Like I always get this like this little dark pull that I put in there. So I take in stuff that's like really dark around us. And I think Seven does this very much too. We absorb some like dark type of stuff around us, and we're able to put it in this creative light afterwards. And it really helped out with the Circus of the Dark naming too, because it's like some of the only the boldest people stand brightest in this darkness, and it's like underneath the circus tent of performers. So it's very, very fitting for everything. So yeah, it's like everything just came to be at the same time as it was being crafted too. And then I spent like a good year or so making a video game that has 100 characters in it.
Oh yeah,
it's insane. There's 100 characters. It looks like Zelda, plays like old school Final Fantasy. You would have to like really try to lose. It's really the last game first. That's why there's so many characters in it. So everybody can just rock it out. It has great music and remixes from Bad Hatter, which features like AC/DC and different EDM mixed with it as well. And it's all for free because I can't sell any of that stuff. So I put it up there for free for the people as a Christmas gift. Everybody can get it. It has a bunch of local bands in it. It's Neverending Machine, Power Souls, another band that's in it. Chris Harding, one of the great show promoters here, is in it. He's a great event coordinator for Scout Bar.
Bye, Poo Ninja.
Hey, Poo Ninja.
Yes.
Thanks for being there, man.
Great time, Poo Ninja, bringing it in. This is Poo Ninja. Poo Ninja, check this out. Ready? This is a Hellraiser and Winnie the Pooh. So combined, they are pooping. Boom. All hail to the pooping. Yeah, like so. I also have. We've got this great place here in Houston, Texas called Traders Village.
Oh yeah,
and it's a giant, huge outdoor expo. It would take you literally a couple hours to go see every single little vendor.
A whole day. It's huge.
Yeah, I didn't even get all the way through. It's giant. And there's a great art vendor out there, Eek Nation. It's like geek without the G, so it's Eek Nation. Hit him up on Facebook. Amazing stuff like that. We're going to be working with him to get some more prints at our shows. That's what you can tie into this like art culture that we have at the same time. So definitely come see us at our shows when we start getting them going. And check out our online stores for sure. We got some good stuff up there.
Hey, Sandra's here. What's going on, Sandra?
Hi, Sandra.
This is Surrender Stella from Houston, Texas. How you doing? Oh, look at that. That is badass.
Beautiful luck, right?
That is cool, man. Where did you get that? Or
I made everything. I mean, this is a Cannibal Corpse shirt underneath.
Yeah.
You know, I love some death. I love some Cannibal Corpse. It's funny because a lot of our like band members now are just learning about some of the stuff, and this was stuff I was kicking around when I was like 14. Death, typo negative, all that type of stuff.
Oh, what's interesting?
Typo, yeah.
Black number one. What number?
Black number one.
What number? Black.
Number one.
Black number one.
But yeah, and it's like an eclectic group of people we have in this band. Like everybody has a very
great
influence, you know.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, between the orange red light.
That's
great. That is great.
Thank God when Seven got here, because we had it all set up over back beyond here, because it's a big house. My fiance is a phenomenal person and works with a program called Combined Arms. They help out veterans everywhere in Houston, Texas area. And they did a commercial with Goodwill of Houston here, and she starred in it. And they worked with Minute Maid Park here, where baseball goes on and everything. It's massive. They have big baseball statues out there, and they were working with Operation Santa and handed out gifts to all the children. So I had to team up with some of the promo with them. And I did some promos that is our like donation, our charity that we chose right around Christmas time was combined.
That's awesome.
And awesome. I try to stay active, and I went to an event held by Grace After Fire, which was dealing with all people that have PTSD from veterans and stuff. And they had a helicopter fly in and everything. So hopefully in the future, I'm going to be trying to set up some events that we're working with them a little bit more too, for more of a Bayou City Blues type of festival. Hopefully, if I can get it worked out at Phobia. So the place that we're shooting at, where I'm going to be talking about doing events at too, so we can start some festivals there. And of course, the Halloween one is the one that will be most predominantly in.
Now, what I wanted to ask was, what is the when this stupid craziness that we're still stuck in is finally freaking over with.
Oh, the COVID is crazy. That's one of the reasons why I kept this like mask. This is actually from a former person that used to like DJ Spacebar, basically. He used to play for us a Spacebar for us at one time when we backtracks a lot. And so I like to like do hints of certain like a totem, almost like an homage to past band members. Like, you know, it was good that we had you and everything else like that. Thank you for pushing us the way we grown. But here we are, and we're gonna rock you like a tornado, not a hurricane. We're from Texas here, so
I'm telling you, you know, I'll be glad. I will be glad when this whole thing's over with.
Man, I can't wait.
A lot of it, yeah. Everybody else, you know.
Imagine me going to like Walmart right like this.
I think our record label has like a 3-month tour kind of planned for us whenever the gates open back up, which I'm very excited to go do.
Which gates?
The COVID gates.
Oh, about the gates of hell. Yeah. I was like, which gates?
But I know we're playing a festival like in August, I think, or October. It's one of those months. I have to look at the schedule, but it's like a festival in West Virginia. We have that on the books.
Up in the mountains.
Yeah. And then I think after that, like the last quarter of this year, I think we're gonna, if it's possible, like if it's open, we'd probably go hit the road and go out and play again. I'm very much looking forward to that. And by that time, we're gonna have a couple more songs out too, like with videos and everything. So you know, maybe by we're working on an album right now. And I don't know if it'll be done by the end of this year, but maybe so. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that real art and content that means something, it can't be rushed.
Well, it's weird because sometimes I'll write a song in 5 minutes and it's finished. Like, you know, like everything is finished. And then sometimes we'll work on music for months and it's not even close, you know? So it's, you know, in 2020, I really didn't write anything like lyrically, you know, but then the first month of this year, I cranked out like 50 songs with like 5 good ones, you know? It's just like, it's coming right now. So you got to take advantage of it when it's there. So, it's like you said, it's like it comes out when it's gonna come out. You know, you can't really control it.
You know, it's that art of creativity, and that I love that bird, man.
Well, it's like black art.
I gotta get one of those for my little studio here, man.
That's a little box, like.
Oh, perfect. I keep pics in there, man. That's cool. I got it. Are those for sale in your merch shop?
We should sell some.
We can make them, no problem.
Yeah, we can make whatever you want.
I'm always kicking around here trying to build stuff. Like, we've got a beautiful house here that we call Circus of the Dark House, but you know, for the radio show, and it's actually a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful big house. And we like to bring people here for the interviews. And we also have a band house that's not too far away up from here. It's
Stella House, my house.
Stella House.
That's where we play, like do practice, you know, play and write stuff there, record there.
We get down there.
I have like a studio in that house too.
We're with impressive gear too. Yeah, tell them about some of the gear that you have.
I've just been really blessed with some great recording gear. You know, like over the years, I acquired it. My favorite thing, like the favorite thing that I own, is I have a Neumann U47 microphone, like an original one.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the tube microphone. It's like that big, you know.
Big diaphragm mic.
Yeah, it sounds so good. Like I've used quite a few different mics. This one just wow, you know. So that's what I do on my vocal recording on, is that microphone. And then, you know, we use like Apollo, have an Apollo twin interface. Like all the VSTs for Apollo are like as good. Like I used to have like an 1176 Revision A compressor, which is the Blue Stripe one, like a real one. And I got the Apollo and I compared A and B to the virtual one to the real one, and the virtual one sounded like there was no difference. Like the plugin is that good. It was so crazy because the Waves plugin is not as good in my opinion. Like it's still really, really good. It's like 98% there, but the Apollo plugin is like it's as good as the real gear. You know, so.
The Apollo plugin isn't that the same plugin or the same company that makes the Friedman plugins?
Well, it's Universal Audio.
Universal Audio.
Yeah. And the amazing thing too about Universal Audio's gear is that you can record old school. Like if you say you were recording a song or whatever into a DAW, like you put all the effects on after it's recorded, whereas with Universal Audio you can put them on in the pre.
We're going to talk about that in a second. That's cool. So the plugin now. What kind of mixers are in your home studio? And I'll tell you why I asked you that.
What kind of mixers?
Yeah.
I mean, I just have like a Yamaha, kind of a basic mixer for our live stuff. You know, it has like some effects. I don't remember the model number on it right now. I don't actually have like a mix board or anything for recording. I just use the virtual one inside Pro Tools. But any mixers we use are going to be for our live stuff. I have like a vocal mixer too. Like I'll use distortion, different pedals, you know. But as far as like just we have a singular mixer that we run all our stuff through the PAs in my house. Why do you ask?
Why do I ask? Well,
yeah.
I just got my mixer yesterday.
Oh, really?
I haven't unboxed it yet. I was going to either do like a live unboxing or I haven't quite decided.
And that's the one we use right there.
Oh, you know what? I've seen those. Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah,
they're not
they are.
And they work very well. Like
Yamaha MG10XU. They're pretty cool.
You know, it comes with an onboard effects thing, so you can put reverb on everything. Like if I'm tracking drums, I'll use that to track the drums. But which is kind of tricky, you know, doing it in one track. But once you get the mix right, it's all right. Yeah, you know, like we do at my place, we do a lot of the pre-production there. You know, so if we have a song we're writing or something, we'll get it down, record it.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. We'll get it all recorded in time, you know, and get it ready to be mixed and produced, basically. So, you know, we'll send it to Matthew Nevitt at NK Studios. Shout out to him. He's the guy who did Ghost of My Past and Fall Fatal Life, which is our next single coming out. But, you know, I'll do a lot of the pre-production at my house, get everything ready, and then shoot it to him. And he, you know, takes that from being something that's pretty good to something that's like, wow, you know. And he's been awesome. He works fast. He's a great producer.
Well, have you ever seen the PreSonus AR12 channel?
I have not. Well, I may have seen it, but I haven't like ever operated one.
That's the one I have. And I still need to decide if I'm going to shoot a proper video or if I'm just going to do it live and be done with it. You know,
that's cool. What are you running through it?
Well, I have my I turned this around a little bit. I have my Positive Grid Spark, and I have my Boss Katana 50.
Okay.
So I have these two I'm gonna run to it, mic. So that's 3 channels, and I have I can't quite grab it, but I have the Boss GT1 over here hanging on the. It's outdated, I know, but it sounds great.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
I love all that type of vintage stuff. I purposely try to stay on vintage keyboards that have MIDI. It's like old Yamaha keyboards, like even like old Casio keyboards. And you can just hook them up MIDI, and they actually have a better response compared to most MIDI keyboards. They just have more response. So I just like the sound design.
Yeah. I love old gear. Old gear is the shit. You know, I use as much as I can. Like, is generally speaking, as much old gear as I can get my hands on, I'm like, yeah, I love it. You know, so I use it in different ways for samples or for just recording or whatever. You know, so, you know, just because anything's old doesn't mean like you can make it. you know, what's a sound like? You know, what's a current sound? Just anything you want to make it. You know, so.
I mean, they did all that back when we were like listening to all the music back then. They tried to like Pink Floyd was using the gear back then. It was a little outdated, some stuff like that. It's been like a hail in music's like bloodline to always use some gear that's older. That's where you get that original sound from and stuff like that. So I try to use some of the keyboards that were coming out right around just after 9 Inch Nails and stuff like that. Some of that age time, and I beat them up. I beat up the keyboard. I'll beat the crap out of it. There's missing keys.
There's broken keys.
Some keys
it's
that
painted.
Don't work. And so,
there's beer all over it.
Yeah, there's beer. There's beer, blood, and there's been fire on the keyboard. We have a black and red keyboard. It's his, actually. Like he had one sitting there. I'm like, shit, I can play that. I'll play that. Let's rock that out.
It's called Tools of the Trade, you know.
And then like on the computer, like especially for like the most recent, like Ghosts of My Past, you'll hear some of and this newest one, especially you'll hear some of the keyboarding I use. And I designed my own keyboard virtually called Super J, and it has some really good layered sounds in there. It's like 5 sounds layered in one. So
what's
it's
up,
like put in there. Oh yeah, that's from Curtain Call.
Yeah,
and Rock Rage.
Hey, so
She's a spokesperson for Rock Rage too. I'm like a J person for Rock Rage, and like in all that stuff. I do that with like a Circus of Dark Radio. It's been doing great. It seems to have a steady pulse. If you go to rockrageradio.com shows and go to Circus of Dark, my show seems to have a steady heartbeat of people is constantly liking it throughout the day. It's amazing. So people get on that website, give it a lot of hearts, because that place says that's awesome and I really care. And like that's I'm trying to pull into anybody that does like great interviews, great photography, all that stuff, all of media. It's just think of Circus of the Dark as like Umbrella Corp. Dun, dun, dun,
well,
something like that.
There's a lot of things that that I know personally, gear wise.
Hashtag 666.
Dun, 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 dun.
Got it on my shirt, just in Roman numerals.
I got the corpse. I got corpses on my shirts. How many corpses do you have in your shit? Forget about it. Forget about it. Like I do funny skits on my show sometimes too. So a little bit like when you hear your family, you know, it'd be like out of Olive Garden. Like I come up and like, hey, how you doing today? How's your food? This is very good. Okay, fantastic. You got a kiss ring. Okay, fantastic. But you can't leave. That's why we have infinite bread and pasta, because when you're here, you're family. Forget about it.
Let's talk about the happy faces.
How did the
happy faces come into play?
I painted them up, I don't know, like a week or so ago, just real quick, just to like have fun with my fiance's daughter. So I do like this. It's a ratings score. So when she's eating or she's doing something, I'll give her a little, smiley face, like Cisco and Ebert or whatever it was back in like. So you get 2 smileys up, and it's also very relatable to the mind control that's in our Ghost of My Past video. We have that sign there and everything else like that. So it's just so funny how everything around us in some unique way plays out to be just the way it should be. Dun, dun, dun.
The world needs more of that, really, to be honest with you.
I mean, there's so much work behind it. I truly feel like as he's like trying to move some of the stardust, I'm trying to like form it as he's moving it and stuff. We really push a lot of magic into everything that we do, and you can definitely see it. We're super connectable people, and it's all a lot of the stuff is like this is the era where the people that were playing D&D and video games in the basements and stuff like that, dressing up and stuff like that, now get on stage and rock out just like Manson, and they get to rock out and put all the stage show stuff that really wasn't as much there as it was before, more concurrently, and that's what we're seeing happening with music that should be really rising to the top here. So yeah, that's definitely one of the focus points. It's been beautifully developing through all this, and yeah, so it's just like a little hint towards that, and it just makes everybody happy. Like a reaction, like oh, like that. I like silent humor. I like that mime type of stuff. If you can say a lot while you're doing, like while I'm playing keyboard live on stage, I'll act like I'm like timing myself with a watch. I got plenty of time. I'm waiting for my accompaniment.
It doesn't even work.
So yeah, exactly. All my watches are all broken. Every watch I wear, and like for a couple of years while I was doing some heavy work as a backbone, I had it set to 6 o'clock. It's recently been changed to 7 o'clock. So it's a hint to tell people something, like there's big things coming. It's just hard to do. I announce everything that I plan to do ahead of time, and then I do it.
Well, 6 and 7, they managed to go together. And,
yeah, very much so.
Pretty much says it all right there.
Yeah, like a 7 upside down and backwards is an L. My nickname is Lambs. Like I'm like the bad Jesus, the good devil.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. I mean, to like
reach
get
out,
in.
touch faith.
Yeah,
that was good. That was good. Yeah.
I was hanging with Post Prophet, another good band that we know, and we did a little photo shoot in between the walkway right here. We have like an opening, and so it looks like there's a divide there, and we were acting like we're stuck between the wall, and we were singing Adele, you know, like from the other side, and they're all like, we can't reach and everything else like that. And like one of them, I smacked one of their hands, and it looks like that he smacked one of his bandmates behind him real quick. And he's like, oh, if you go to my Facebook, you'll see a lot of this stuff. Our Instagram for Surrender Stella has a lot of great stuff. My Instagram has a lot of connective tissue that goes all around it too. So you got to really, like, if you look into this band, you got to really peel between the onion, because there's so many different layers. So at one point, maybe in the next decade, I think it will finally be exposed about how much stuff there really is. It's all tying into this, as I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes for a long time. So putting my foot down in this project is a really big step, because I stand behind him at 6 underneath all of it. So I always have his back, and like he's definitely the future. This band project and how we can do art and everything, and the way that we build our music and come to be is really something that happens nowadays compared to it used to be. You'd have to tape like pieces of tape analog to do all these samples and everything else like that. It would be catastrophic.
Oh my God.
Catastrophic. So now when I'm like doing keyboards anywhere, I was like down, I think I was down fishing somewhere, and I was able to sit down and use my computer and write some of these keyboard parts down and have it already done. As soon as we were like ready to send in the songs, I had all my keyboard parts already done, like right then and there, with these magnificent sounds that are all going to be part of a virtual keyboard part called Super Jaiyan. So it's just like a Super Saiyan and stuff like that. Because him and I, we both love Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that.
I grew up on that show, man. I remember waiting for Saturday every weekend at like 6 a.m. so I could watch Dragon Ball when I was a little kid.
I feel like he's like Goku and I'm like Vegeta. I'm like, you cannot beat me, Kakarot. I can't even beat myself. Like, I like to mess it up too. I like to make it a little bit vulgar, like a good devilish kind of thing. You cannot beat me, Kegel Snots. I can't even beat myself. Well, I have this dirty game that I play with like celebrities sometimes. Like, as I bump into them, we take celebrity names and we make them dirty. So like Reese Witherspoon would be Clitoris Witherpoon.
Ridiculous.
Clint Eastwood is like Dick Eastwood. So we got this. One of the things I try to bump into people, and like I truly look at life as like, you know how like Ozzy walks around like almost like he's walking around with slippers and stuff like that. So it shows what I like to do is I mess with people. Like when I'm there, they're my test subjects. So I go in there and I make them laugh. So I'll have like a little camera tripod in my pocket and then a little hammer paperweight in my pocket. I'm like, by the way, did you know I have a hammer in my pants? And I pull out this tiny little hammer or a tripod in my pants. And I try to pull this little tiny tripod, little like humorous little things like that. So no matter what, you're like, oh, who's that band? Who are those people? It's just how I am. I call it Bill Murray. Bill Murray does this. He goes around and like randomly just makes people laugh. He'll be in like some like college frat party just doing their dishes, and all of a sudden he turns around and you realize it's Bill Murray. And this is something that's happening. There's a documentary happening, and I truly love that aspect. And he shot his movie What About Bob, not too far away from where my family really is, out in New England. So I'm like, I got like half California and half East Coast blending. So I'm like, I feel like I'm like the Hollywood of Houston here. And there's a great local band out here called Hold On Hollywood. Shout outs to them. Ride the Witness. The Tenebrae Machine. There's so many great projects out here that are trying to do a lot of great stuff lately. On Post Prophet, they're going to be coming back out next month. The new Valentine's Eve, they're going to be doing a show. So if you're out in this area, Houston, South Houston, go to Scout Bar New Year's Eve, not New Year's Eve, Valentine's Eve. So like my bloody Valentine's Eve, basically. And they're going to be doing a cool show. Just keep in mind, wear your mask, keep your distances a little bit, and have a good time. Be safe.
Well, let me tell you the reason why I started this show. Yeah. The reason why I started this show.
It's so expressive on video. Double man.
It's because I wanted to give people a play.
It spins and everything.
I wanted to give people a platform to get their voice out there and give people a platform to play and to perform. Oh, it's the bunny.
Right as you said perform. Oh yeah, well the other master, this pops up in a lot of the photo shoots I've been doing and stuff. It's like that burlesque type of style.
Is that from a Rob Zombie movie?
No, but very hint to it and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff that I bring into is little
The White Rabbit.
Yeah, it's like honestly homage to everything. Like when you're listening to a Marilyn Manson song, it was like Dope Hat. And it said like the rabbit is just a monkey in disguise. So in other words, I'm jumping around like a rabbit, lighting things on fire, and I'm acting like a monkey just in disguise as I'm writing for a newspaper.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of weird metaphors that we use that people wouldn't get unless we explained it, but it's all there. Like it's definitely there, man. Like every like piece of stage prop or costume or color is usually very thought out for the for a specific reason why we're using it. So and it could be anything, but it's just a creative, like a compounding creative effect over time, so it's like as it's gone further, it's gotten crazier and more developed. And like what we're doing right now, I'm really excited about this next era of touring and video shoots and everything else. Like I'm very excited about what's coming up.
Well, speaking of video, did Jay, did you happen to see the video that I made for you? Yes,
I did. Yes, I did. And our rhythm guitar player even shared it. I have it shared on my personal page and on Instagram. It's been flashing too. It's phenomenal. It does a little.
I'll get it out there.
It goes through the main logo that we have on Cycle, and then some of the logos that have been generating for different merch options as possibilities. So that's why we're working on some of those images.
This is about the middle of the show. Is it okay if I play that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can rock it out. Yeah,
I have it queued up.
You did a good job. Well, we appreciate you.
Usually I play. Usually I play the videos towards the beginning for like an extended intro, but I changed it up because I want to wait till more people got here.
Yeah. This is art expression right here, so you got to go with it. It's
so check it out, everybody. This is a video that I made for the band. Just kind of my thank you gift for coming on my show. This is a video that I did for Surrender Stella. Enjoy, everybody.
I'll be right back. Yes, we're right here, right now. Boom, we're already on. Yeah, we're back.
Well,
back with Grim.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I do this stuff. I'm not getting paid to do it. I do it because I love what I do, and it's always kind of a hard thing when you have to make a choice between doing something that's going to keep the lights on and the power on,
Mm-hmm.
and but you're miserable while you're doing it. To doing something that you want to do because you mean what you're doing. You're wearing your heart on your sleeve while you're doing it.
But I wear my heart ripped out in front of me in my hand so everybody can see it. It's like
Exactly, and it's my pleasure, to be able to do these videos do like show trailers and stuff, and I'm hoping that not 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 necessarily directed towards you guys. I don't do that, but I hope that somewhere down the road somebody, you know, starts to support my vision because
I'm gonna subscribe to your channel after I get off of here, man. So like it's just time and effort, right?
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
And I'd love to be able to take audio clips of some of these shows because I feature a lot of people that you're going to be interviewing and put it on the radio show as well.
Yeah,
that'd be great. I'm trying to like Circuits of the Dark is all about teaming up with people. That's the whole point. Everybody can be friends underneath the circus tent. Like there's like it's this cool. That's what's about it. And yeah, there's some dark lore to it. There's some like even like taboo looking photos and stuff like that. But underneath it all is the best people come through that I could work with, and most of the people are very much like family to us. So and that's how I try to keep it across the world, all across this whole country. Everybody knows me personally for a lot of the work I've done. Just as like across the country, it's like for like a good like almost decade, I just crossed the whole country working with all kinds of artists, and now all the music is kind of finally surfacing. I've got hip hop people across like in Los Angeles and hip hop people in like Florida that are popping up, metal people everywhere too, and it's really cool that it's all coming to fruition and coming across a good brother of mine, Seven. It's like comets that hit this earth, and we're able to do so much. We're like these two badass angels that had to crawl up and earn our wings back, but we're doing it.
Well, I love nothing more than that, and I thank you guys. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, man. How long have you been doing broadcasting?
Well, that's about. I think that'll probably be about it this time.
Oh no, I mean, like, how long have you been? Interviews?
Only about a year and a half.
Oh, cool, man. Well, we really appreciate you having us on here. It's been great to talk with you.
Yeah, you do a solid in-depth interview. It's really, really good. That's why I gave access to the Circuits of the Dark pages so you can share it. So as we grow, people that have a true heart can grow along with it too. So it helps people reach possible more sales of their online merch, stuff like that. So like I have a lot of content that can be shared and crossover with you, so you can help out your pages as we help out our pages. This way we can both hopefully get a little bit of kickback from some things like that. And it's the same thing. It's a radio show and a band dynamic works very similar as far as like what you're trying to sell for online merch, what you can do, like extra things that you do outside of just the interview that you can do, like meet and greets and photography with some of the people and stuff. That really ties into like what you can charge for a little bit of money and stuff like that. Because like I have such a modest heart, I want to be good to people at the same time. Like good work is worth it, and that's one of the interviews I'm reposting today. I did an interview with the band here, Ride the Witness, and the very interview ends with just that, as we both do animated graphics, Slade and myself. And good, really solid, good stuff is really worth it. So make sure like just like they say when you're doing a show, tip your bartenders, or tip your reader, host.
Absolutely.
Tip the people that are representing you the most, whatever way it is. I had High Desert Queen sent me a shirt because I played their song, and it's a fabulous song. It's amazing, and the shirt's one of the most comfortable shirts I've ever worn. So I did a photo shoot with it. So I rep them very much in it, and I try to push their song onto the radio show that I do because it's really, really, really good, and they do a great little like music video teaser that's like Gumby and everybody else claymation, very much stop motion. It's awesome. So
well, I absolutely, Jay. I see where you're coming from, and I tell people this all the time. I say, look, I'm open to working together. I'm open to creating together. I'm open to helping each other. I'm open. That's why this show is here.
Yeah, it's the dream.
I want people to be involved, and I really want to start a section for the show and call it Play Live, to where
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
my guests
That'd be
can
really fun.
perform, you know.
Well, let us know, because that'd be really, really fun. We can always set that up at the practice house or whatever, and so we can do like a live practice on show, whatever.
Or we can film a show if it just happens to fall on the right day. You know?
Yeah, we're pretty creative. I mean,
if there's enough room here, we can film one in this room.
Yeah, we could do it here. That'd be cool.
I tell people all the time that, you know, I would love to do a live show, you know, do a concert live show, put it together and broadcast while the band's performing, broadcast. And yeah, I'd love to do that with the fire turners and the whole 9 yards.
I can do that. We can set that up. I can do that outside here. Yeah, I have a huge backyard here. My fiance has worked really hard for everything she's got. We also have a very vintage kitchen and everything else, all black and white checkered floors and old furniture. It's amazing.
Well, I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I understand that this is serious business, and your heart and your soul and your pouring everything that you have inside of you.
It's a lot of souls for sure. Fat lamb.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's been, I guess when I started, I had the goal to become successful in music. You know, you kind of think it'll never really happen for you, but then things start happening and you're like, wow, you know, you keep going to the next step. And all we've really been doing the whole time is just continuously, it's like blunt force trauma, just keep trying, you know, and, you know, things keep going in a good direction for us. So we're going to keep going as long as we can. You know, who knows how long this will last, but I hope it lasts forever.
Awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, the latest, the latest Rob Zombie interview, I think the last time I saw a full-on Rob Zombie show was 2019. I was watching a concert on YouTube, and it's full theatrical, the whole 9 yards. You know, the big animated screens and everything.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to that level. Like I have so much experience with a lot of that stuff, programming a lot of the graphics, doing the screen work, even making there's something called Pepper's Ghost, where you use a pane of glass and tilt it at a 70-degree angle or something close to that, and you can project an image through it, and it will make a hologram on stage like a ghost. So like eventually we're
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and like we're helping out individuals with the Tools crew that was helping them put on some shows out in San Jose, California. When I was out there, I've been very blessed to bump into all these like celebrities that are featured on my Facebook. I got a little bit of like work with a little bit of everything. So a lot of things I learned beyond that is theatrics, mainly theatrics, and how to treat people and hold bands together and everything else like that, and be a truly good person about all this. So that's why I'm like the good devil, the bad Jesus. Like I'll kick ass with you too. You know, I'll rock out with you too. That's pretty much it. So I got a bunch of clothing options on my Circus of the Dark Apparel store site that I have. There's I think 116 different designs or something like that.
Well, it all goes together.
Everything goes together.
It all goes together. It's
I work in magnificent waves. So what I do is I pile everything up and I reevaluate work on it, then I release it so it looks like it's a decade's worth of stuff in a matter of like months.
Well, I would love to leave the door open for you guys to come back and perform, or we can arrange to do like a live broadcast.
That'd be fun, man. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, especially
for a full Surrender Stella.
Yeah, the full band, all dressed up in like our current music video outfits.
The whole 9 yards, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty much in it right now. Anything else too? I mean,
so you play keyboards, Jay?
Yeah, I play. Well, I play synthesizer, and then I play some keys, and then I also play piano. But I really am is I'm like I play magic mainly. I play dark magic. I put a little bit of voodoo hoodoo right where it's shoodoo, and it works out very very well. So it's like I try to be an extent beyond just instrument, but synthesizer I really rock with it. I got this Trent Reznor type of feel. I'm fast. I can rock around on a bunch of keyboards if I'm just soloing out. I'm really, really good at it. And like it has a lot of terms from like Rage Against the Machine, Nine Inch Nails, Manson, that type of keyboarding because it's what I was around. But yeah, my right hand's a devil hand. If I just put my hand behind my back, it plays solos. It's insane. I don't have to look at anything. It's been that way since I was probably about 7 years old. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, it's that's my influence, and like I really get really rhythmic because I tried doing drums when I was younger with like drum orchestra when I was like a very little kid because I knew that was going to be like the base of the band is like the drums, what it's going to go with. So I tried learning that, and that really wasn't my dig, but I found a xylophone and that was kind of cool, and then I went on to a keyboard, and yeah, by 7 years old I was cranking out some like solos that were like Jimi Hendrix on a keyboard, and it was pretty crazy. And over time, it let me develop a unique way of working with them because when I came to work with them, I don't want to overpower some of this stuff. I want to be painted lightly, like a dark, shadowy paintbrush, just right in the right spots to make it haunting. Just right in the necessary spots to make it feel into the concept of the show, the music, or even at live performances when I play stuff that I wasn't even a part of. I add another thing live on top of it, and it gives you more of an experience when you go see us live. There'll be a new solo or some added keyboard on top of stuff that I wasn't even originally on. Because back when this band first like shout out to me from like it just was like a message from some people out here when I was not even here in Houston. I got basically wind of Seven performing and everything else like that, barely with like a band behind them and everything, just putting it together. And when I seen him come out and do all that stuff, we pieced together more and more stuff over the years, and it came to be more and more involved into what it is now. And it's been a beautiful development, and everybody in the band has grown so much in this band, so much so have I. So just being able to paint into an accompaniment piece almost, because it's not going to be like mostly a lead piece that I'm doing on something, it's an accompaniment piece. I have to stand back from my hip hop keyboarding routes and some of my heavier routes and faster routes to let some other musicians take their place first, and then I got to delicately paint in between it all, or put the right stuff in just enough so it works the right way. So it's really a really creative challenge actually for me sometimes to come to the table like that. But I'm really happy, especially with Ghost of My Past and this new song, Fought for Your Life, that it's in there very much in a subtle way and a vibrant way that just really ties in with Phobia here in Houston that we're shooting all this stuff at. We're going to be going back there to do a photo shoot this Saturday from 2 p.m. Central Time to 4 p.m. Central Time with models and extras that we didn't get to work with, or even ones that we did, so they get to be involved more. And we're going to contrast a photo shoot that tells like a story about some of the girls that we had involved in this music video, showing you how badass this biker chick gang really is. And we're also going to take a great opportunity to do like a photo shoot with Seven, like because he does that reverse Joker look. It's very much like a young Joker look. And I have a lot of ties to that because I used to be a Mr. J myself. Still am. My fiance's daughter literally calls me Mr. J, and so does all the kids here in the neighborhood. They literally call me Mr. J, Mr. J, Mr. J. So it's so funny. So every time I get a message on Facebook Messenger, all I hear is ba-ding, ba-ding.
The Seven, I wanted to make sure that I told you the video that I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I was dialed in. I was watching you. I was looking in your eyes. I was feeling what you were trying to convey, and I'll tell you, you have an amazing aura, an amazing spirit.
Thank you.
Absolutely comes out and goes right into the camera to where I can be watching on YouTube. And I'm watching you, and I'm looking at you, and I'm watching you, and I can feel your passion.
Thank you, man. That's awesome of you to say. You know, it's the highest compliment. Like it's amazing.
It's truly the very same thing I saw when I seen him live. It was exactly that, and it comes across like yeah, it looks like he has white magic power and I got black magic power, so we're both working from like behind, and then he's working in the front, and it really comes together like form this like harmony together with like around people and everything else like that, because we're so connectable and cosplay and video games and stuff like that. We just want to rock out.
What I've always said, if people always kind of look down at me or whatever, but I always say it's because I truly believe it. I truly believe it. I've seen enough in my life. I've been through enough experiences. I've had enough dreams. I've seen enough things to know that this next statement I'm going to say is true. When I first said to the people around me that I truly believe that light and good needs the darkness to exist. The darkness needs the light to exist, and it all comes together.
It's the duality.
Yeah, exactly. That duality. Yeah.
It all comes together, and it's all one giant, entity.
It's a big giant pulse of energy and light. It's very much so. Even like my nickname comes directly from all that stuff, like lambs and all. We have a lot of ties into all that stuff too.
There's a lot of numerology going on, and a lot of our work too.
Like Mr. Crowley, Aleister Crowley by Osborne.
I was going to bring that up after you brought it up.
It's called the Cult of the Lamb. It's actually connected to that. So it's like the light bringer or something like that. But it's
the all light bearer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a holy diver. I mean, who's who? Who died? Who fell from where and came back up? I don't know who that person might be. But it's all just that energy. It's all just how it all works. So I truly feel like I've come back to this time in my life where I'm part of that connection, and I'm choosing a lot of people that are around me that have a lot of this power around me too, and so that's why I gravitate towards my brother here. We do a lot of work into all the music and art and all that whole taboo stuff and everything else like that. This is just creative, fun stuff. Really, it's a lot of good art expression, and it's just because like when we were growing up and stuff, that's a lot of the stuff that was happening. We had all that full expression of being able to dress up like this and everything else like that. It's really cool that we get people like that nowadays that are going to be the rock stars of tomorrow or today.
I also felt like music had gotten really boring, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I went around to see the local bands, like it was a lot of guys in cargo shorts playing guitar, staring at their toes. And I was like, man, there's something really missing here. Like it's shop rock kind of thing, like all the lights, the stage show, like it's not happening around here. So like I'm gonna do it, and that's kind of like where that came from, because I liked it to begin with, and secondly because it was kind of an open field, like there was no one really in it. I began to understand why after I did it, because it was a very hard niche to fill.
That's about the time that I came in and started helping you guys.
Yeah.
There was a lot. There was a lot of weight. There was a lot of underground, disconnect and stuff like that, because it's not a cover project. We're trying to do something original, and it was a lot to push through, but we did it, and now people are really respecting what we're doing and stuff. And we tie a lot of these bands around us that truly we think are doing really good stuff. Shows like Dead Set Red and Hold On Hollywood, Ride the Witness, Fabulous.
Houston did not love us in the beginning. We didn't get a lot of love out here. We got a lot of love in the surrounding areas, though. The region. But recently, in the past 2 years, Houston's really started to show us some love, and we appreciate that a lot. So it makes playing in town awesome, because before it was, I don't know, people either weren't interested or didn't like us or whatever. But now it's like people engage. They'll mosh at the shows. There's a lot of people there, patrons buying our our shirts and stuff. So
That's cool.
it's really nice. Yeah.
We have a good diehard fan base. So one thing I've noticed with this band, like the true people that do show up all the time are diehard fans, and I really love that old school diehard fan stuff. So to see a bunch of diehard fans that show up are truly connected and truly care about it. So, I mean, they absolutely love us. We are great people. So it's fabulous to have like this growth of family that is from all this network. That's one of the reasons why I do a radio show. And it's just because that growth, the connecting with great people, and like, what else would you do? Just sit on a couch and be bored? Eat potato chips, watch some, I don't know, Ren and Stimpy or something like that. I have no clue what I'd watch, but I'd be bored. Eventually, I'm going to get back on stage. I'd crawl up on it and light some things on fire, and there I am.
Well, I would love to have my small little humble abode here, be a part of what you're doing, and
yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I want to feature all your in-depth interviews. Like you did an in-depth interview with Robert from Sonic Octane.
That was cool, man. I like Robert.
Robert's awesome.
He's a good, great brother of mine. We came out. He was there for when we were shooting our Ghost of My Past video, the first one at Phobia. And he kicked it with us. We had such a great time. I even made him into the video game Circus of the Dark. There's a character in that says his name's Sonic Octane, and it's actually Robert. So, and the games are free for Windows PC. If you've got Windows PC, you can download it. It's just from a Google Drive. I promise you, there's no viruses. It's a video game for free. I mean, rock it out. If you don't believe me, oh well.
Well, I very much would like to. I feel, it's like when I get up in the morning and get my coffee, come over here in my area, turn on the power, and I sit here and I look at my calendar. I say, okay, like this Friday, my buddy Dave Stafford's music studios will be here, and next Monday, Sel over there at Curtain Call Promotions will be here. She'll be coming back.
That's cool.
And my list, the dates that I have go all the way to the second week of March.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
We could definitely work together more and more. And like, I'm also one of the agents for Curtain Call.
I would love that.
So,
I would love that.
A lot of these people that are being interviewed and stuff like that, and anybody else you reach out that are not formally onto this label and stuff, we do have the connections to get these people signed up. And I also offer a lot of work behind it all too. So on top of whatever the label would do, I would definitely put some work behind any people that are closely working with us that we impact more locally as well in the Houston area. So it works out really good, and I get publishing for all of them too. I help them get out there more. So we always try to put a lot more behind a lot of things. That's just what we do. We can't help it. It's just who we are.
There will be some heavyweight. Some of the biggest heavyweight guests that I've had will be coming up pretty soon in 3 weeks. I reserved the whole week for this one artist, and I had to pick which day did they want, just like I asked you guys, and just like I asked everybody else what day's going to work. And I gotta tell you, just a quick special shout out to Curtain Call Promotions and to Cell and to Rock Rage Radio, also El Puerto Records. I want to thank El Puerto Records for introducing me to the people I have met, and I want to thank Central Guitars Group on Facebook. I want to thank Kramer Guitars, really, and I really love the new Tracy Guns model. That's pretty sharp. I really want that. I also want to thank Robert for Sonic Octane for coming on the show last week.
Yeah, we love you, man.
Robert's awesome.
Robert, you're great. I can't
really appreciate his time.
I can't wait sometime to like bring like my family to go hang out with his family and stuff too, and vice versa. So like that's another thing that we always have like this network thing with is like we have a lot of good people. So if you're coming out in our area and somebody off the label and stuff like that, we usually like we'll let you like stay at our place and everything else like that. We get down with the people and we get in depth with the people. Oh, it's cool.
Well, however I can help, please let me know. I mean, I don't get paid to do this stuff, so
there's always some artists out there that are trying to get signed, and here's like a key factor that I really like need to stress on to the music industry because people are young that are doing this now, and I'm like a dinosaur in this far experience into this business. So like nowadays, like you're actually paying for something really worth it, something that's going to help you develop yourself and grow and everything else like that. Unless a celebrity is taking their own money, like David Grohl and signing, Queens of the Stone Age or Trent Reznor is backing up Marilyn Manson, stuff like that, it's not going to happen that way. You got to put some money in it to make some money or to make that statement. And,
you got to put in the time.
Yeah, and like so
effort, time, money.
If you're out there and you're like a band that has a group of people, or you have a true good fucking awesome, like Angel on your side named Seven or something like that, that truly puts a lot of funding behind some stuff, and you have some, a Slade from like Ride the Witness or Jay from Surrender Stella is putting a lot of work behind it. I mean, you get a 1-2 punch. And like we got good bands like Post Profit, who's like all of them are really, really good connective people, and they really work their asses off, their booties. Are you ready?
Well, I make this offer, to any of my guests because like I said, I love what I do. And
yeah, you get them connected to Curtain Call. Let them know. Like Jay will help them out as well too. And you can work out something where you can sign. I can talk to them. You sign on some people. You make some people. So you make some money, and like it grows honestly to help out your show, and it helps the label. And they've been growing since we got on the label. They had like maybe about a half hour. So now it's like doubled. They're really putting in the work, and they're getting on Billboard and everything else like that. So all the big labels like SONY and everybody else have boutique labels underneath them. They're willing to take the risk on these artists and take a gamble. So like that's the new thing now is these boutique artists. And then if you ever get to get to SONY when you're a major artist or something like that, I mean the fully more. That's how it really, really works. And like you really got to get praise at Curtain Call because they've like that they're doing it. They're doing it, and then
I got nothing but good things to say about them.
They're doing it well. Like a great job. And Rock Rage Radio is big, super big. We are everywhere, and you can hear my show every Sunday. It's 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. We do the time difference, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central time here in Texas, and it's a wonderful show. We really keep it connected. I feature Surrender Stella's music very often because it's one of the themes of the band, and also some of the imagery that John from the label even made that has some fire spinners and stuff like that.
Well, guys, are there any shout outs that you guys would like to give out?
Oh, yeah. Music News, Houston Music News, Flirt Magazine, Rock Bottom Tattoos, John, Gigi from Curtain Call, Rock Rage Radio.
Matthew Nevitt, MK Studios. Brett Hesla for helping us make Blackheart. Let's see, what else do we got?
Our families. Much
our
love.
families.
Much love. Our families, our families. Much love to everybody.
Kira, our band mascot.
Yeah, Kira. Yep, absolutely.
And, just Houston in general for supporting us and seeing this thing lift off. It's really cool. It's a strange experience, but I'm loving it, man. So.
Well, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being on the show today, and thank you to everybody in the chat who's hung out with me.
Thank you for that popped in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Surrender Stella. Yeah.
Check us out. The Facebook.com Surrender Stella.
Yeah.
If you want to look at something that's going to be emerging and what's going to be it, you take a look at us because we are the you know what I mean? For sure.
Nice to meet you, Dreamer.
Thanks, guys. I will be
from the other side. From the other side.
Thanks, guys. It was fun. It was fun. And now a word from one of my sponsors.
The best